Well, let's discuss the symbolic launch of the 30 hybrid CNG-powered buses further. I'm now joined by economist Dr. Akin Ogunsola. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to us. Now, the launch of these 30 CNG-powered buses is coming shortly after the 10-day nationwide hunger and end bad governance protest. Now, how strategic is this move at this time by President Bola Tinubu?
Yeah, I think it's really strategic. It's long overdue because the president actually promised these buses would be in use since 2023 in his Independence Day speech. So it's actually long overdue. But we need more of these buses. 8 is not enough for the whole nation. And probably we would also like the governors to also key into this. It's actually strategic economically as a result of lower costs of transportation. Nigerians will be able to transport, themselves from one place to another on a lower cost of transportation, which is just like an alternative means of transportation, especially mass transportation in Nigeria. So lowering the cost will also help to lower some cost of goods and services. But how many Nigerians can actually, take advantage of this? Just 8 buses. I'm sure 8 buses is not enough for even one state, not to talk of the whole nation. So I think just from what the president says, this is the first phase. So we'll continue to look up to the other, phases as these buses will be coming in, and possibly looking forward to state governors also keying into this initiative, especially also for environmental, climate change purposes. We're going to have clean energy. The pollution of the environment, will also be cleaner. We're going to have less of pollution of these vehicles. So there are so many advantages to this.
Now, the president says commercial vehicles make up about 80% of Nigeria's petroleum demand. Now, how far will this initiative go in addressing this huge demand for PMS? And also, how would it support the nation's economic development?
Yeah, it's a good one. It will actually, help to reduce, the cost of transportation, just like I've said. The initiative is a welcome development, but we want more of it. If it's just a little number that we have, we'll not really achieve that 80% that they're talking about. So possibly, government also need to issue a policy around this. That's what they do in, the civilized environment. The government will issue a policy and say, between now and the next 3 years, all public transportation vehicles have to be CNG, CNG powered. So that all the state governors and also possibly private, transport owners will begin to plan towards, migrating from the fuel or diesel consumption buses to the CNG buses. Until we have such policy, if it's just only government buses that will just be CNG, we might not really achieve that 80% because the private sector does so much in transportation system in Nigeria. So if the private sector is not keen in, as a result of the policy of government, we might not really achieve that 80%. So what we need around this is for government to draft a policy around it and say, okay, from 2027, for example, we want all our commercial vehicles to be CNG powered. So I think that will now help government to achieve that 80% and also achieve a cleaner environment, sustainable environment, by reducing pollution, cleaner energy, and, all sorts of that.
All right, then, economist Dr. Akin Ogunsola, thank you for sharing your thoughts and insights on the just launched CNG-powered buses by President Tinubu.